Hello and welcome to Walking Street here in Pattaya, Thailand. And as you can you see me? Can you see me? Okay. Oh, hold on. Hello. There I am. Now the reason you can't see me is because of one of these. This is a electronic control point. Oh, I can't remember. It's got a fancy name, and I'm not really an electrician, and I'm getting rained on here as well. I've affectionately called them a Dalek because although it hasn't got a pointy anti-thing and it hasn't got any wheels, I do think it looks a little bit like Doctor Who's arch enemies, the Daleks. If you don't know what a Dalek is, by the way, go and have a look. They're quite funny. And the reason is because during Doctor Who films, they always used to invade, and there used to be great lines of them going. You saw them going down London and all around the world, and there seems to be lines and lines of these things. Let's have a walk over here. There's another one there. Oh, there's another one there. And basically what these are, it is the final finishing touches to the beautification project here on Walking Street. These were actually introduced to me about 18 months ago. I did a live stream from City Hall when we were told about these being installed on Walking Street, basically every 16 metres. And I don't know if my cameraman, the wonderful balloon chaser, can pan down there, but you can see they are spaced out literally like every 16 metres. And I've got to be honest, it looks a little bit like overkill. I mean, I'm not an electrician. I'm just a stupid guy who bought a bar on Walking Street. But it would obviously be that there is so much load going into Walking Street, this area. There is so much electricity going in because of air conditioning, lights, sound systems, all blasting out and drawing current, that they need these every 16 metres. And so that's why they're installing them. It looks really ugly at the moment, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't look, Walking Street isn't at its best. And there's a car coming, so we'll just go. It doesn't look at its best. But imagine it like this. When it is completed, all the wires that you see above, and bear in mind the vast majority of those wires are communication cables, so they're fibre, internet and TV wires. The wires above those, which are well maintained, those are the electric cables. They'll all be coming down. The telegraph poles will be coming down as well. We are told that there is still an issue about the signage here on Walking Street. Legally, the signage has to be 7 metres high because of access for emergency vehicles. You might remember a few months ago there was a fire a few hundred yards up there at the Nasha Disco. It was said that vehicles weren't able to gain access to the fire quickly because of the height of certain signage. It's legally supposed to be 7 metres, as I said. So a lot of the signage might be removed. There's talk about beautifying that, and the whole skyline will look really, really nice, and it will look different. They clearly have got to do some work on the walkway. Look at this here. This is a pavement here in Pattaya. Now, I'm okay, I'm able-bodied, and I don't drink. Can you imagine, first of all, some young Thai girl, she's been working all night at the disco. Let's walk up here because we're going to get some sound from the workmen. She's been working all night at the disco or in a go-go bar. She's in her little high heel, she's had a few tequilas, and she's walking along. She's going to go straight into their place. Things like this is how it looks at the moment. It's not looking good, and I'll be honest with you, during the whole of this process of the beautification of Walking Street and the changing of the skyline of Walking Street, I have never seen the street, looking so bad as it does now, which is unfortunate because a lot of you people are going to be visiting us very, very soon. Secondly, of course, and maybe a little bit more seriously, if we can walk on, we'll walk on a little bit further. A little more seriously is the thought about disabled people, people with limited access, maybe in wheelchairs, or also families, kids with wheelchairs, with pushchairs. They're not going to be able to come up here easily. Look at the pavement here. It's completely destroyed, and obviously this post will go, but you won't be able to get anything through there. So virtually the whole pavement, according to the beautification project, will be extended by a few meters out, so there will be less area for you to drive and more areas for you to push prams, wheelchairs, and for people to walk as well. There aren't any plans to completely vehiclize, I think that is the word, to de-vehiclize Walking Street, to make it just pedestrians. There are no plans to do that in the future. A lot of people have asked me about Walking Street. What's the future? We're seeing videos and reading reports in newspapers and online of the whole place coming down, being demolished. No licenses are being issued here on Walking Street. Well, let me tell you, successfully I applied for my license, my entertainment license. I know I'm not directly on Walking Street, but I managed to get my license, no problem. It was exactly the same application as it's ever been when I went to speak to the licensing people at Banglamung. It's not City Hall that issue licenses, it's Banglamung, which is called the Ampur here in Thailand. I was told, yeah, there's no problem. There is apparently a list of 18 buildings on the seaside that are earmarked for partial demolition. It was said to me, not complete demolition, but partial demolition, because they extend far further into the sea than they're supposed to. Now, again, the laws on this is, I think it's either 40 metres or 40 feet. I think it's 40 metres. So you're allowed to go 40 metres from where the pavement ends. So it'll be 40 metres from there into the sea. Some of those buildings are extending out further. But I was also told by the people that let me, I've kind of got a little bit of a contact in the Banglamung office. I was told that this isn't going to be strictly adhered to. It's just a list. It's just a starting point, and they won't be issued with partial demolition orders. Everybody I know that has businesses over on the seaside have been issued with their entertainment licenses again for this year. So all these reports that you've read in newspapers and online about no licenses being issued, I can tell from experience that that's not true. That's not the case, and it's business as usual over on the seaside. There are places that are opening up all the time, and if we walk here, we look at, this is the Beverly Hills, if you like, of Walking Street. This is where all the big go-go's are. Palace of Go-Go. Palace is open at the moment. Tantra was the very first go-go to open. Now, it's worth pointing out, by the way, that they're not open with dancing girls. It's a new style of opening, which is temporary. The dancing girls will return here to Walking Street and into the go-go bars, not just here, but in Soy, LK, and in other areas of Pattaya. It's basically kind of like a hostess situation. It's basically a go-go bar where the girls don't dance. Some of the bars have took this on board and have changed the interior. For example, Pin Up a Go-Go, which I can show you, is over here. It has to remodel anyway because it's changed the format and it's changed the size of the building. It's contracted slightly from three buildings into one. The setup there is that they haven't got a stage. Where the stage will be, they've just put tables and chairs, and they've got very, very comfortable seating, 2 seats on one side, 1 seat on another, and they've got the music kind of a little bit lower, and it's a little bit more intimate. And the great thing is, although they're not dancing girls, you can buy a girl a drink, and there's no, oh, sorry, I have to go dance now. There's none of that. That girl will basically sit with you for a lot longer. So pluses and minuses of this new format, and once again I stress it is a temporary format, because as soon as the bars can open and the girls can be dancing again, then trust me, that will happen. Some of the bars, like I know at Palace, haven't taken the stage away. They haven't had to, so the stage is still there, and sometimes it kind of looks a little bit like a big monolith in the middle of the place, like a big elephant in the room, if you like. But some of the bars have decided to try and change things around and make them look a little bit more warm and inviting, and like a hostess bar. So Tantra is open, and it was the first one to open on the main drag of Walking Street. Pin Up is open as well. A little bit further down, we missed out, Fahrenheit is open also Skyfall has opened up. None of the bars on Soy 15 have opened, so still no Sapphire, no Dollhouse and Beavers, which was formerly known as Baby Dolls. Electric Blue, which is next door, which was also another bar before where Ricky used to own, Private Dancer. That's finished now and is up for sale and is not going to be operating. I have heard rumours that Baccarat, which is right here, will be opening pretty soon. No word yet on Sensations, and also a bar which has been completely refurnished. It's been gutted and has had a lot, multi-million baht spent on it, which is Living Doll Showcase. There's no word on that opening either yet. They're waiting for the new the old format to come back. They don't really want to open as the old format. So that's a little update on Walking Street. I hope you can see that the Daleks haven't quite reached here yet, but they're coming. These are the holes, as you can see, where they're going to be placed. Interestingly, with these Daleks, as you can see, there's not really one there that is there's one there which is right in front of a business, but as you can see, there is already an electric pole in front of that business there. So they've put one of the Daleks in front of there, but they've tried as much as they can to not block business facias, to be as business friendly as possible. It's interesting, you know, the completion date for this whole process was supposed to be, I think it was next week. It was certainly a week in February 2022, but as you can see, and my cameraman will show you, at the moment there is a massive activity here on Walking Street. Big diggers like this, people either digging holes or filling holes up, electricians going around and putting in these new electric control centres. We said let's come early to Walking Street, there won't be so much going on. It's really, really busy here with people working, sound, and they're really, really trying hard, clearly, to hit that target completion date. It won't be. They've clearly got maybe a couple more months left before all the wires are down. I have spoke to the people from the PEA, which is the national electric provider. I spoke to the engineer and he told me that all the wires for the electric anyway are laid underneath. You can see there are manhole covers like this. I'm risking my life coming out here. The manhole covers like this have got access underground, and it is really far. I think it's about 8 meters underground. The electric wires will be running. They're already laid. All the communications cables, I assume, have been laid. I've come here at night and seen trucks from all the big phone providers and telecommunication firms here, TAT, TOT I should say, AIS, True Visions. They've all been here laying cables underneath. The cables are ready to go. The old cables are still there and they're ready to switch over to the new system. It will be interesting to see what happens when that switchover happens, because obviously there may be interruptions in service. Let's see. But again, I will just summarise and finish this video by saying this. I've never seen Walking Street looking so bad, but things are happening. There's plenty to do. At night time, it's quite well cleaned. They are cleaning up as they go. So it's okay for you to walk down here and come to the entertainment areas which are opening up. And I haven't mentioned yet, but all the big discos are open, like iBar, Insomnia, Lucifer's, 808, Candy Shop. All those discos and night areas are open. Yes, it's an early closure, but that's an early closure right over the whole of Thailand. In fact, Pattaya being in a blue zone province means that we can open a little bit later than most of the rest of Thailand. But it is worth pointing out that it's not an all-night party at the moment here in Pattaya. We have to close at 11 o'clock. We were expecting some news from the CCSA yesterday about maybe extending those opening hours till later in the evening. That didn't come through. The numbers from the worldwide virus are still pretty high here, although it's happy to report that hospitalisations are very, very low. And the whole reason that we're locking down and doing all these measures is to keep the health service ticking over. That is taking place. So I believe the next CCSA meeting in my opinion, will probably extend opening hours. So watch this space. If there is any more news, either about Walking Street, about bars opening, about opening times here in Thailand, or anything to do with you coming over and enjoying a holiday here in Thailand, I'll let you know. Make sure you click subscribe to the channel for more videos about the entertainment and nightlife area, especially here on Walking Street, as I seem to be the only YouTuber around here talking about the place. But for now, a little bit of a different video, but I hope you enjoyed our little walk along Walking Street. If you don't mind, I've got a feeling the Daleks are following me. See you later. Bye.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!